Welcome to Lazy Hour Booktube channel, where I discuss all things books and comic books. As always, if you enjoy this video and you would like to see more, please like and subscribe. And if you'd like to know when I post videos, please click the bell icon. Today I'm going to be running through with you my week. So the last week, what I read, what I thought of what I read. And if any of you have read any of those comics or books, please comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'll jump right in. So I'll run through for you what I read and in what order I read them throughout the week. And the first comic that I read was issue 5 of Family Tree, which I have had for a couple of weeks now, but I just haven't got around to reading. As you know, if you've seen any of my previous videos lately, I've been reading a lot of graphic novels, and that issue has been sitting there for me, waiting for me to read for a while. So that's this one here. So this is the last issue out at the moment, and this kind of does tie things up a little bit in terms of the series. I'll just give you a bit of a summary of what this particular comic is about. So this comic series starts off with a girl and a family that have normal family issues and troubles. They fight and argue a lot, and this little girl starts having branches growing out of her. Naturally, the family starts to freak out, particularly the mum, but there is much more going on here than is immediately obvious. Now, issue 5, I would have to say, would be the most enjoyable and the one that I liked the most out of all 5 issues. It really did leave it off with a good teaser at the end of issue 5. And I would be interested to read more of this series. So that one was really good and I really enjoyed. I also read issue 5 of Heart Attack, which is another comic series that I've been reading. And this particular comic is set in a world where there is a group of people that got sick, and the ones that survived ended up with powers. And the government is really, whole aim is to control these people. They call them variants. And it's really a world that is dominated by fear, particularly the governor in this world. Her whole aim is to really get these group of people under control. And they're really living in this dystopian world where the variants have less rights than everyone else, and the governor is really trying to create that fear in the community, fear about these variants. So this issue was good. I've been enjoying it. It probably wasn't my favorite issue of all the comics, but nonetheless it's still a comic series that I wish to keep reading on if they decide to make more of these. A graphic novel that I read is iZombie, and I got this one from my library. What really got me interested in this comic originally was that I have seen nearly probably most of the first season of the TV series of iZombie, and I didn't actually realize that the comic actually predates the TV series. Which is quite interesting. I didn't know that. So I went into this book expecting it to be a bit like the TV series. It wasn't, but it didn't detract from my enjoyment at all. I really enjoyed this comic. And this comic's got little bits of everything. It's got some good humor in there as well. So it's got all types of monsters, from zombies to vampires. And it's also got a were-terrier. So not a werewolf, a were-terrier, which I found quite humorous, and I really enjoyed that character in this particular comic. And this is definitely a comic series that I would like to continue and I was pleasantly surprised by this one. The artwork was quite good in this, and the dialogue was good as well. So all up, this is definitely for me a 5-star comic read. So this is one that I read this week. Apocaliptigirl is another graphic novel that I read this week and I borrowed from my library. I can't actually remember how I came to know about this particular graphic novel, but obviously something interested me in order to put this on hold at my library. This is set in a post-apocalyptic world, and obviously given the name, but I really felt that the dialogue was lacking. The artwork was just okay. I felt like if one had have been really impressive, it might have held me through, but the artwork wasn't impressive. The dialogue certainly wasn't impressive. It was a little bit cringeworthy actually. So this one was a bit of a so-so for me, and it's not one that I would continue on if there were further comics. I'm not even sure if there are or not. I didn't follow up in relation to this one. So unfortunately this wasn't the best read. So for me, I wouldn't recommend. There's other people out there that do like it, but I'm not one of them. Fear Agent is another graphic novel that I read this week, and this is also one that I borrowed from my library. Initially, when I first started reading this, the main character was a little bit annoying. He's brash, he seems a bit sexist, and the other character in the comic, Mara, seemed like she was a bit of a damsel in distress, and so that annoyed me a little bit as well. But in saying that, I actually really did enjoy it, and the storyline held me through. I think the main character is supposed to be a little bit annoying. I think he's supposed to be a little bit unlikable, but their story really held through for this, and it's one that I actually do want to get further volumes of and keep reading. It's set in a futuristic world, and it's a bit of a sci-fi genre. I won't say much more. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but this one, yeah, it surprised me, because right from the start I thought, no, this is not going to be for me, but then I just kept wanting to read. So yeah, this was a great one and it surprised me. I also read Zodiac Starforce, which is this one here, and you can really see probably from the cover that it is aimed at a younger audience. Nonetheless, I decided to have a look because I saw a positive review from someone on another social media site, and so I thought I'd give it a go. It wasn't really for me. It really definitely is aimed at that young teenager type age bracket. So whilst I didn't enjoy it, I think it would really appeal to someone of that particular age bracket. It had the obvious moral themes in there that a lot of these girl superhero type tropes have, and but yeah, it just wasn't for me. So if anyone out there has some young teenage children, they may enjoy this one. For those of you that are familiar with The Magicians by Lev Grossman, there are actually some comics that came out, I think, at the end of last year, and I really enjoyed these comics. So there's 5 of the issues here, and I got hold of these at my comic book store. As some of you may know, there's no distribution of new comics happening at the moment. The major distributor is not distributing comics at this point in time, and so this bundle was available from my comic book store, and I saw it. I've seen the TV show, I've also read the books, and I thought I would give the comics a go, and this was really, really good. So if you're familiar with the Magician's story, it's set in break bills, but this comic series doesn't feature the characters from the novels or from the TV series. These are brand new characters, and it was just really, really enjoyable. The action starts from issue 1. It really pulls you in straight away. I'm not going to say much more than that because I think if I do, it'll give away some key things, and just it's enjoyable to be able to just go in without knowing much more than that. So these ones I would highly recommend, and I do hope that they create more of these comics because I would definitely be interested in continuing this story. So out of all of those comics and graphic novels, I would have to say my favorites for this week were definitely The Magicians, and closely followed by iZombie. So those are ones that I hope I can get my hands on more of those. I also did finish reading one novel, and that is The Library of the Unwritten. So that one I quite enjoyed. I am doing a review video of this particular one very shortly, so look out for that one. I'll be recording that one soon, so I won't say too much about it except that it's set in a library where unwritten books go. Well, that's my week that I've had. In all, it's been a great reading week, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more of my videos, please remember to subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. If you would like to see more of these videos, please click the bell icon also, and that way you can see when I post videos. Thank you so much for watching.